Recording is started. Okay, hi and welcome to this community meeting. Before we get started, I have to apologize for last week where we quickly jumped from this community meeting to another one. The problem was that some Zoom bombing happened, and so we had to move this chat. But today it looks good, and I'm confident that we can use this chat today for doing the meeting. Let me share the screen first, just to take a look on the agenda for today. Yeah, or let's go through the bullet points that we have here. First of all, when you want to stay in touch with us, also check out the CNCF Slack channel. Click this link to follow this channel, and there you will get all the updates that are happening around the Keptn project. Also, when you want to get started with implementing your first issue when you want to contribute, then please go to https:/goodfirstissues.dev. There you find a list of all issues that we consider as good starting points. Check them out and assign yourself, and we will then give you the chance, or we will welcome you to provide a contribution. Then there's also a mailing list we maintain. When you want to get more information about the Keptn project, then please subscribe there. It will be an email every Monday that we send out, just telling you what's coming up, which webinars or meetups are running during the week, and where you can get in touch with us. All right, yeah. Then let's jump directly to the issues and pull requests that have been completed this week, and then I will directly give the stage to Ermin.
Thank you very much, Johannes. Yeah, I'm going to show you 4 pull requests regarding the bridge, so enhancements in the bridge. The first one is make links in labels clickable. So in the bridge, we show labels. So if there are labels provided on an event, and some of those labels had as a value link. And the idea was to make those labels clickable. So I will just do a short presentation in bridge I have here. So you can see this event here has labels like the build ID, number, and owner. And there is a label news, which has a value that is a link. So here on the left side down here, you can see this is news.rf.at. So any link that is provided as a label, the key will be used as the title, and it will be linked. So when you click on it, it will open in a new tab, and that can be used to, for example, link to a Dynatrace dashboard back if there is a problem event raised, for example, or any other link that could enhance the usability here in the bridge. The next pull request I'm showing is fix misleading message service not deployed yet in quality gates use case. So the thing was when we had the quality gates only use case, the bridge was showing the information service not deployed yet use Keptn send new artifact to trigger deployment, since the deployment was not done by or through Keptn, but just the evaluation. And in this case, now you can see that since this is just the evaluation started, so no configuration change happened here, so the deployment was not done by Keptn, we still show now the information last process artifact is cards 0112, because here in the payload we have provided the image and the tag information. So now also the start evaluation is considered as a artifact, and if image and tag information is provided, you will see it here, or otherwise we will just not show any details about that, but you won't get the confusing message service not deployed yet. The same is also on the environment screen. So when I have, for example, now in staging, the cart service, you see the image, or in this case, that the image and the tag that is provided with this event. Yeah, the next pull request I'm going to show is pretty nice enhancement. Also in the bridge, we now provide the API token and the Keptn auth comment in the user menu. So when you have access to a Keptn's bridge and you're not authenticated to that Keptn instance, on the right top side in this user menu, you can now see the API token and the Keptn auth comment. And you have also the possibility here to easily copy that one and use it for easy authentication to this Keptn, to this specific Keptn installation. And the last one that I'm going to present is that filter functionality in the environment screen. So I showed last week already that we now have the problem and quality gates notifications also in the environment screen. So when there is a quality gate that failed, you will see this icon in red. And if there is a problem, you will see this icon in red. And also when you click on that stage, you will see next to the service the same icon again, where we have this failed quality gate. So in case that you have many services, just to make it easier for you to find this specific problem event, for example, you can click on this icon here or on one of these buttons up here to filter the services here on this side with regards to this specific type. So for example, if you want only the services where you have the approval, the open approval, or if you want only to see the failed deployments, so where a quality gate failed, you can click either here on this icon or here on this button in this overview, and you will see only this list of services with those details. For example, in this case, we can see the quality gate for the version 0.11.2 failed with a score off. Here you also see the evaluation score and some more details in this tooltip. And because we have blue-green deployment here, you see also the information that a rollback to cards 0.11.1 was performed. Yeah.
And Ermin,
that's from my side. Yeah, please.
Can I go back? And
yeah, of course.
Your screen does not only work for the delivery use case, also for the quality gates only use case. It works.
Yeah, that's what I showed. Here we had the quality gates only. So for example, we have here only evaluation started events. And of course, also if there is an evaluation that is broken, so it was not successful, you can see this result also in the environment screen. Here you can also filter, for example, only for those services where the quality gate failed. And then you can see here, in this case, yeah, the image and the tag information that was provided. So 0.11.2 and quality gate of card 0.11.2 failed with a score off. And here you see again the result of the evaluation, but no information about a rollback because the deployment was not done by Keptn and we don't know what a deployed artifact is here or what happened. So just information that the quality gate for this artifact failed.
Perfect. And can I ask you to go back to the services view?
Yeah, of course.
Because I want to point out that with this new feature of having the labels clickable, we now also provide the possibility to forward from here to other tools, because we have Rob on the call, and Rob also brought up the issue that Dynatrace is actually sending a problem URL as part of the problem payload, and this URL will then be converted into a label and will show up right here in this labels section, and yeah, it provides the link to the Dynatrace problem. And this helps us to bring or to link Keptn with other tools more convenient, in a more convenient way.
Yeah, there is a huge usability for the user, a huge increase in usability here. So
yeah, and with the new Dynatrace service, we implement this feature. Andy did that. He is taking the problem URL and converts it into the label, and then it will show up right here.
yeah, that's cool. Okay, if there are no more questions, that's from my side, and I'm handing over to Florian.
All right, thank you. So let's get started. Okay, you should see my screen now. So today I have 4 pull requests that I wanted to show you. So the first one is an addition to the CLI. So we added the possibility to delete services from a project via the CLI. So let's have a short look at the issue, but I think it's very self-explanatory. And actually this was a very requested feature, because sometimes you only want to delete one service from a project instead of the complete project. And yeah, let me just show you a short demonstration. So here I have my Keptn's bridge open, and as you can see, we have our good old sock shop with the cards and cards DB service. And now I'm going to enter the Keptn delete service cards -- project sock shop command into the terminal, which I think you don't see here, but it's just entering the command, and now it has been executed. And now if we reload the bridge, we see that we only have the cards DB left, and the card services has been removed. So the Helm service and the Shipyard service take care of both removing it from the Git repository where the configuration for the project is stored, as well as the database, the materialized view that's being used by the bridge, for example, to gather all the information. And also the Helm service will take care of removing the Helm releases for that service in all of the stages that you have configured in your Shipyard. All right, then let's continue with the second pull request. So the next one was an adaptation of the logic within the Lighthouse service. So let me just go to the issue. So let me explain. As you all know, the Lighthouse service, or the SLO file, provides the possibility to compare the scores of certain SLIs with previous evaluations. And for example, we can specify that we want to compare with the last 3 evaluations. And the way it has been handled up until now by the Lighthouse service was that it took, for example, the last 3 evaluation done events, and then it selected the target values based on an SLI level. Or actually, let me pull up an example here. So if you look at this heat map, and for example, if we wanted to compare the round trip service P95 metric with the last 3 evaluations, the Lighthouse service fetched those last 3 evaluation done events, and then looked at the individual values for the previous evaluations of that SLI. And it always fetched only the last 3 evaluation done events, regardless if they were successful or not. And this has led to some confusion. So now we have changed it that it will load the last 3 successful evaluation done events if you want to compare only with past evaluations. And then it will inspect the values and then again check if the value for that SLI has been evaluated as successful, and then it will consider that value for the comparison. So I think that was actually how it was understood by most of our users and how it should have been in the first place, and now it's easier to understand. Are there any questions about that?
Hi, Florian. Can I jump in with a question on that?
Yeah, sure.
So will it do that backward, determining what test run metric by metric, or will it do it by, like, what's the criteria? In other words, if I have 3 SLIs, is each SLI going to look back to find it's the last 3 good one by that SLI? Or is it going to say, let me find a good test run, and then all the metrics are being pulled from that same good test run?
That's a good question. The latter is the case. So it will get the last 3 successful test runs, so overall evaluation done events, and then consider the SLI values within those if they have been successful. So for example, if we take those 3 events and want to consider the RT SVC P95 SLI, it will take that one, but not this one, because obviously this was a erroneous value.
Well, I guess that's what I'm asking. So if it's looking at the last 3 good test runs, then it would be looking at that top row, right, for the last 3 greens. But then my question is, there could be a metric in a past test run. I don't know if any are in this example in your setup here, but like, say, just like your cursor's on that one right there. If you were to go vertically up and down, there could be a metric that failed, but the test run itself passed.
Exactly. So
would it still grab that bad value as part of that metric, specific metric?
In that case, for example, if that value were to be red instead of green, it will not consider that value.
Okay, so it might just, for example's sake, if there was 3 historical runs, one of the 3 was bad for that one metric, it would only look at the 2 good metrics for that given metric. Okay. Okay, that would be kind of what I would expect. So, thank you.
Perfect. Okay, are there any further questions about that pull request? Okay, then let's continue with the next one. The next one was quite a big one. So this was the complete implementation of the Shipyard controller. So if you recall from the previous meetings, I've already shown the part where the Shipyard controller manages all open triggered events. And then in the next meeting, I showed how it handles all finished and started events. And as part of this issue, I've actually implemented the complete functionality of the Shipyard controller, which is going through a task sequence defined in a shipyard, as you see in this example. And now the Shipyard controller is actually able to really go through one of those task sequences, send out the appropriate triggered events, wait for all started and finished events to come in, then proceed with the next task. And when the end of a task sequence has been reached, it will send out a task sequence finished event. And also, as you can see here, if we have a trigger defined for a certain task sequence, it should be triggered by the completion of another task sequence. It will also do that. So for example, if this one here has been finished in the dev stage, it will then automatically trigger the sequence in the hardening stage. Any questions about that? All right, then let's continue with the last one I wanted to show you. So this is an extension of the distributor. So now we have added the possibility within the distributor to actually forward events to the event broker, or actually directly to the NUTS server within the cluster if the distributor runs in the same cluster as the Keptn installation. And another possibility is to make the distributor send events that it has received to the Keptn API, including the API token. And this allows us to use distributors outside of the Keptn cluster. And the idea behind that is that if the distributor runs as a sidecar of a Keptn execution plane service, the execution plane service does not need to know the address of the event broker or the NUT server or the Keptn API itself, but it just can send the event, for example, a finished event, to localhost on a certain port. In that case, it will be 8081. And on that port, the distributor will listen with HTTP server. Then it will accept that event and forward it to the Keptn API or the NUT server. So this will make implementations of Keptn execution plane services a little bit more easy and convenient. Are there any questions about that? All right, if not, I will hand over to Johannes.
All right. All right, I don't have to show you a feature or implementation work. I was actually working on getting the integration tests fixed. There were a couple of problems with our Travis CI build, but I could fix them. And now our master build is green again, and every day we get all images built. And that's pretty neat, because then every second day, we then have a CLI version and all the artifacts that are represented in the master, so that we can test it out and can make sure that everything works. Okay, then let's jump over. Well, we'll skip the roadmap part, because we discussed the Shipyard control a couple weeks ago, and we are currently working on that. And today, Florian showed us the implementation of the Keptn CLI command delete service, which will be now available with the upcoming Keptn release 0.71. And this brings me now to the working items that we were working on this week and are in progress. In the ready for review column, I have one left that is assigned to you, Florian. I think it was a minor fix in the Lighthouse service, right?
Exactly, yeah. So basically what happened here is that if info SLI, so SLI with no pass or warning criteria has been evaluated, it marked it as failed, for example, even though the actual result of the metric didn't have any effect on the score. and that propagated through to the bridge, and there they were displayed in a red color, and this failed flag has been removed for those.
Okay, perfect. Then I think I can move it over to the done column. Perfect. Then on this issue, I still need feedback from Jürgen, who will be back in the office by next week, and then I hopefully can close that one. Then let's jump over to the in progress column. Yeah, I'm currently working on deploying Keptn on OpenShift 4.4. Let me just open this issue because Mark from Red Hat did a very, very great job on that issue, on this issue, because he provided us a tutorial, a full tutorial to deploy Keptn on an OpenShift 4.4 cluster. When you wanna try it out, please take a look on this issue on Keptn OpenShift 4.4, then follow the link to the tutorial or to the documentation and go through this doc step by step, and I can promise you that's working out pretty good. And this is what I'm currently validating, and the outcome should be that Keptn 0.71 will run on OpenShift 4.4. We will announce that when we can verify that, and then we have also this support. But it will take me about 1 day to get this issue finished, because the documentation is missing and final pieces on the validation are also missing. Then the team did a great job this week on releasing Keptn 0.71. Let's just scroll over this checklist. Yeah, step 1, 2, and 3 are done. Also step 4 is completed. Then we released a bunch of Keptn contrib services, those services that have been changed in the past or from the previous version. We also released, we created the release branch for Keptn 0.71, which we then used for testing. And this is the phase we are currently working on the test phase. Florian already completed the tests on GKE. And then what is missing is the tests on OpenShift 3.11 and OpenShift 4.4. This piece I'm working on, and the tests on OpenShift 3.11 will be done by Andreas. Yeah, I think that with this 2 tasks can be completed by tomorrow, so that we are ready to release 0.71. All right. Yeah, this is still in progress. Then Andreas told me that he still needs some time to do this task. The definition of the cloud events for the new Shipyard controller. He wants to leave it here in the in progress column. Then Florian, you're already building the Shipyard controller?
Yeah, exactly. So that one is pretty much done. I've already created a draft pull request, but I wanted to wait until after the release has been done to merge it in order to not have too many merge conflicts potentially.
Perfect, but it will be cool to see the Shipyard controller in action then. And yeah, this is the first step for this. Then the next issue is that we want to switch from cloud events in version 0.2 to the version 1.0. And Florian, are you already working on that one?
Yeah, I am. So I've already, actually it's quite a big issue actually, because we also discussed with Andreas to extend the distributor in order to take over the function of the event broker and then get rid of the event broker. And yeah, I'm making good progress, but it will certainly take up a good part of the next sprint for me, because it's a lot of moving part and things to be considered and to be tested in order to make sure that we don't break anything.
Okay. Yeah, but it's an important one. We are moving this issue now, I think, for more than half a year, but cool that we get it done next week. And then back down, we have still one issue open by Christian, who wants to take a look at our implementation of the Prometheus service, and he wants to get rid of the step of implementing Prometheus by the Keptn config monitoring command. Yeah, but this is still in progress. Then let's jump over to the assigned issues. Ermin, I assigned you this one. It's Annexify the Captain's Bridge. Can you tell us what the implementation is about?
Yeah, it's basically a code structure based on the NX standard. So there's standard. I think the page is also linked there in the description. Here. Yeah, and yeah, this is basically a code refactoring task. So it will just make it easier to go ahead in the bridge, for example, when we start introducing more views. And yeah, basically it's a refactoring task that needs to be done or should be done as soon as possible. So now after the release is the perfect time.
Okay. Yep, then let's focus on that one so that we have clean code and are ready for implementing the next few. Perfect. Then let's go and take a look on the backlog. Here we have a couple of more issues in there. The first one is also a refactoring task for the bridge. It's about using an HTTP inceptor to add default headers and implement generic error handling. Okay.
Yeah. I reported that one, and you can also assign it to me since it's in the bridge. I will take that one.
Thanks. I mean, what do you think, how much time it would take?
Yeah, I estimate half a day.
Half a day. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's not a huge one.
Then I have, let's move that one a little bit further down. Yeah, since the Shipyard controller will be available with the issue of building it with the CLI, not with the CLI, with the Travis CI, we then have a component that is working, and then we need to touch all the services that are part of the continuous delivery and automating operations chain. And the first one we want to tackle is the JMeter service. This means that the JMeter service should then be changed in a way that it acts on a test.triggered event, then immediately sends out a test.started event, and when the JMeter service is done, he sends out a test.finished event. All right, yeah, Andreas explained here the payload that the test or the JMeter service is receiving. It's actually the test strategy, and then the test or the JMeter service can also consume the payload that is in the deployment part. And here the response or the test finished event is explained. Who wants to take this one?
I would like to do that since it's actually kind of related to the issue I'm currently working on.
Cool, great. Florian, what do you think? We also need to test this implementation, of course. And will we have a broken master for a certain amount of time? Or is there a way that we can get rid of the old implementation and exchange it by the new behavior of the JMeter service?
It's a good question, but my first guess would be that we will have a broken master for time.
Okay, yeah, I think we have to take it into account, and that's the way it is.
Yeah, but maybe we can come up with a good solution to avoid that or keep that time as short as possible.
Great. All right. Yeah, when the test is finished, the next service that kicks in is the Lighthouse service, who does an evaluation, and he should also behave the same way as the JMeter service does, because he listens on an evaluation.triggered, sends out an evaluation.started, and this service responds with an evaluation.finished event. Yeah, there is also the payload explained in this issue, and all the events that should, or the structure of the events is also laid out there. Florian, what do you think? Do you have enough time to work on that one as well?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, cool. Right. Then the next one is, let's move that one up. Yeah, it's the change of the Helm service, which should react on a deployment triggered, should send out a deployment started, and should send out a deployment finished when it is done with his job. Very similar to the others.
Yeah.
Florian?
I can squeeze that one in. Well.
You think? I mean, let me assign you to that one, but when you don't find time, then it's fine. Okay. All right. Okay, yeah, then in the backlog, we have one issue that is for the CLI, because with the change of the Shipyard format, we also have to touch the CLI in regard to creating a project. The create project command should then accept the new format of the Shipyard and corresponding, or then create a project based on the new format. I assume, Florian, you have enough tasks for next week. Okay.
But
then,
of course, if I'm making faster progress than expected, I can, of course, then pick that up as well. If nobody else.
Okay. I think we just leave it there where it is, and when let's see the progress of next week, and then we can always decide whether to move it over or not. And also Christian is coming back next week, and maybe he wants to get started with an issue, and I think this is a good issue to get started. All right. And from my side, next week we'll focus on some planning tasks and some planning work, especially for the bridge and getting out cool new features in the bridge. And this I want to focus on next week. But when someone wants to get started with a good first issue, I always have a couple of them right here. I will today remove Suri from this issue because he told me that he has not time to work on that, and the same is true for Imre. This means that they are free now, and when you want to get started, please just assign yourself there, or just leave a comment on the issue and I will assign you. All right. Then, yeah, let's go back to the agenda. I think we covered the work in progress items. We did a backlog refinement and discussed the issues for the next sprint, and also took a look on the planning board. Yeah, this brings us to the end, and we can still use this time to answer a couple of questions. Are there currently, or has someone a question for the team? Then feel free to ask now. Okay, it's silent. I take it as a no. And then I have to say, stay tuned. We will announce the release of 0.7.1 soon, maybe tomorrow or then next week on Monday, but it will be available. And you will also see it in the Captain's Bridge with the feature of the banner that will show when the new version is available. And then there you will also get the a link to upgrading to the new version. And I can promise you the upgrade mechanism is now pretty cool, because you don't have to deploy a Kubernetes job anymore. Now upgrading is done with the CLI. You can do Keptn upgrade, and then the CLI will do the upgrade for you and will move your Keptn from an 0.7.0 to an 0.7.1 in 30 seconds. And that's pretty neat. Okay, I don't have any more points to consider. And then I will now close this meeting and say goodbye. See you next week.
See you. Bye.
Bye, guys. Good job. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Yep. Bye-bye.